So I figured out I actually could live on $7.50 a month, but I like to eat out. I like to share meals with people I love. I don't have a kitchen, and I'm not a really good cook, and it's a lot of work. So I'm kind of lazy. I like to pay someone else to do that. But today I was at the fish store, and I wanted to get them a betta. My grandkids are like, I don't have the money to do that. I don't have the money to get them a betta fish. And so if I do get my wishes about World Preschool, I want to erase the idea that my children have to go to school and work. I want them to come. Look at that beautiful work of art. Look at your red shoes. There's a movie of famous red shoes, but if you read the book, they're silver.
Oh, but go, wait. Look, they're purple. What color are they? They're pink. Oh, they're pink. Okay.
I hear that. You never know. Maybe to her they are.
Are they beautiful?
Not nearly as beautiful as you are. I got to get to work. I'm going to be late for my job at Kroger.
Aww.
I hope I see y'all around.
Bye.
We'll be around.
Good.
What's her name? What's your little girl? Frances. I will have another one too if I have the money, because I love taking care of children are a blessing. I'm into instruments for the inner city to give them an outlet.
Oh, wow.
So you see these drummers, trombone, saxophone, will be more like New Orleans.
Cool.
They make a little money busking instead of doing illegal stuff.
I love that.
I see you're on your way for another one, maybe.
We are.
Well, have a beautiful day for your family. So now I want my kids to become the best artists that they can be. Morgan is very gifted in photography and film. She draws a lot, and she's waitressing now. And she's making she probably makes $22,000 a year being a waitress, but she needs me to stand behind her in whatever pursuit she has. She doesn't want to be a nurse. She doesn't want to be a teacher. And so she might be the photography work that she just has a priori sort of sense about how to photo. She doesn't think about it. It just gets there. So it almost happens to her before she thinks. Who's the guy shot with the hip? J. Paul would know that. It was like, so yeah, no, I think she could benefit society in furthering that. Going to different countries and telling stories like journalism and stuff like that. My dad said he didn't think she was very smart. And I was like, Dad, you have no idea. My dad's so pessimistic from his bipolar. And then James, of course, is a musician. And I will pay for whatever lessons or jam sessions. And he could play. He picked up the violin and he just played it. And he's like, well, it's just a stringed instrument. And he's really concentrated on getting the bass. He likes the bass and he's learned some guitar. And he sings, but he needs a little help there. And, but yeah, to keep him busy, keep him out of trouble, not make him hate his life so much the way society is that he can't make a living in art. And that's just bullshit. That's propaganda, because you can, but you can't if you don't have the instruments. And he can't even go and rent an instrument because it's like $100 a month, and you have to be signed up for lessons to use that instrument. I mean, if this is affecting my upper middle class family, I can only imagine how it's affecting everyone in this world if we don't have music and engineers, so to speak, of the music department. Now, my brother's an engineer, but he's like, I wish I had stuck with my piano lessons because girls like that. My oldest daughter is very academic, and she's very creative and sassy and spunky and frustrated with me at times because I give her too much information and she calls it spam. But she's also very involved with raising my two grandchildren, which I would pay her to take care of. Right now, when they're little, she should not have to work at this age. And I told her, I went out to California. My dad sent me out there, and I was like, it's going to be really tough if you have a baby right now with no education. And she was only 20. Now, the grandkids are miracles. They're works of art. I love my granddaughter, Callista. She's a challenge. Charlie is an intellectual. He reminds me of Kent. I was like, it was weird. Her boyfriend, Charles, looked a little bit like Kent. And I was like, well, that's cool. And now Lennon, his name is Charles Lennon, after John Lennon. I was a single mom. It was tough. It was really, and I cried. Sometimes I cried because I didn't have the money to support my kids the way I wanted to. And I couldn't have the foresight like we need to discuss in public schools about what the actual academics are you need to do and the money you need to have in place. And it's your choice. I mean, you can do it poor on welfare, but let's look at what it actually causes to our society from jails and perspectives such as that. If we could lower the birth rate on welfare and get people out of that and better educated and making good decisions, I think that would help our whole society as a whole. And that's, if I go over to Creighton or Gilpin and I see, I've seen people that just go through there. They're there for a month or two. They had an injury. They need a place to stay. But I also see lifers where the grandmothers and the aunts and uncles, and it's a way of life. It's not a way of life, Ralph. This is segregation.